Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. Coaches, we are all searching for ways to better evaluate players in order to give meaningful feedback. Over 15 years ago, I put together a test called the JAMODI Skill Rating. The JSR takes players through a series of tests involving basketball skill or athleticism, giving them one rating at the end. Their JSR rating will give you clarity on what needs to be discussed with players and parents on areas they need to focus on improving. I test our players at least 4 times each year. They're able to compete against each other, past players' scores, and most importantly, their past performances. If you'd like to start testing your athletes, email me at jamodipodcast@gmail.com for more information. You and I are aligned in so many ways, but I can't imagine our first talks with our teams being any more different. High standards, both of us, yes. But Coach, I went the offensive route 100% because that's getting to 11 years ago when I came to Faith. Came from another high school program as a varsity assistant, and that head coach and I really started dabbling with running and gunning and offensively playing with pace and space. Even before that kind of little phrase there became a thing. We were 4 out, 1 in dribble drive when Calipari at Memphis was making it big and so like that's what I came to Faith, and they had averaged about 50 points a game the year before, but had a really good year, a great coach, and he brought me in. And that first meeting, it's setting the vision. Like we see the vision, then we got to sell the vision. We got to allow them to see it and be a part of it. And so I said, guys, we're gonna average 70 points or more a game, and they kind of leaned in a little bit. And I said, we're never gonna walk the ball up the floor, and we're going to shoot 30 to 40 threes a game. They kind of did this and everything that I said, we're going to press the entire time, setting that vision. Now, what happened, Coach, I've noticed over the years is you can sell the offensive side pretty easy. The defensive side is where you got to really capture their heart. And it took me years to see that or get that, but we've always been known for running and gunning here, but then building that defensive identity. We've created tougher teams from that, less streaky teams from that, because on nights we don't shoot well, we can still defend and figure out a way. But it just made me laugh when you talked about like your first meeting with the guys and the defensive rebounds. I was like, man, I'm all on board with the standards and how you set them. Mine were just the exact opposite.
Yeah.
We're going to offensive rebound 33%. Like that was a goal, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, because here, Res Ball is known for just getting up and down the court, free. So a lot of freelance, a lot of creativity, a lot of 3-point shots, and a lot of pressure, And so I think that was already there. That's already kind of in there.
So how could you be a little different, right? Like
and it's like, and where has that gotten us? We've been running and gunning for years.
Yeah.
But we haven't been in the state. We haven't even been out of districts. We visited divisionals every now and then, but in our first meeting, I was like, all right, guys, what's our goal? First parent meeting. We got to get out of districts. No, they were like, we got to beat Hardin. They're a class above us, but they're on the reservation, and they've been beating us for 13 years. And I'm like, we got to beat Hardin. I'm like, you got to think bigger, guys. I don't care about that game. And they're like, oh my God, it was almost like sacrilegious. It was almost like, blasphemy. Don't ever say that game doesn't matter. I'm like, guys, it doesn't matter. We're going to cheer for them. Actually, we want them to win. They're like, shut up, coach. What are you doing? It was a joke. I mean, if they're laughing and stuff, like, stop it. You're hurting our ears, No, guys, really, look it. There are people. There are relatives. There are cousins and friends and brothers over there. They're our same tribe, but they're on a different classification. We're not. That game doesn't even matter. So we've been pushing these kids to win that game. When they lose the whole season and crumble. I was like, I don't care about the game no more. From now on, and we had the same school colors. So I would say, orange and black, we got your back. And they're like, that ain't ever going to work. But it worked, And so we're going to support them. Forget that game. Wow. Okay, we got to get out of districts. Again, dream bigger than that. We got to not just get out of divisionals. We got to win divisionals. It's getting closer. What is that? We got to do this. We got to get to state. And then finally, one of the dads said, no, we got to look at guys, that last banner, 1990. we gotta win the state championship. And I was like, man, you're so close, but it's bigger than that. And they're like, what then? That's everything. I'm like, no, see, that's where you're wrong. It's not everything. We're gonna build the next life champions here. And you got to be on board with it. You got to trust us and hand your kids over to us and say, Coach, we trust you. And we believe you're going to help us in our endeavor to build our life champions. Because my vision and my mission as a coach is to partner with parents and community, raise up young warriors to look like him and give glory to his name, and then teach the game at the highest level possible. And that's what we're going to do. And that's going to be our whole new standard. And that's what we're going to do. We've been running and gunning for years, but it hasn't gone anywhere. My philosophy: defense wins games, rebounds win championships. Those take heart. Those take effort. You're going to have a lot of off games. You're going to have a lot of down days. You're going to be missing shots. But here, if we show up every day, we'll do something great. And a byproduct will be possibly some championships. A byproduct will be a lot of wins. A byproduct will be, and so that was the first message. But guys, listen, we will run and gun. Matter of fact, there's teams out there starting to run and gun a little bit more. This new age of basketball, the perimeter game, Steph Curry and all them. I was like, but they don't know. Logic Grass Indians have been doing it since Elvis Obel and them. Elvis Obel is Montana's all-time greatest player, and he's from here. And they were running and gunning then with Coach Gordon Robert, who's a mentor and friend of mine. And he won 5 state championships, running and gunning, running teams into the ground. When they try to run and gun, guys, we're going to run it better than them. And watch, we'll do the countdown every game. You look at these teams that are not Lodge Grass and they try to run and gun, watch their timeout. Matter of fact, crowd, you can do the countdown with us. There's 4 timeouts left. There's 3. There are 2. They're down to 1. We'll try not to use any of ours. For the first year, we did not use 1 timeout. So we're run and gun, but I told them to make it in the postseason, you have to have half court. So we're going to have a system. And we're going to build our defensive block is going to be like 40 minutes first, rebounding 40 minutes, then with a little bit of offense at the end. We'll do some stuff to get us moving, get us playing and clicking together, and get a solid motion going, throw in a couple of sets, and just master those and all the options that come from those. And then we'll just go from there. Then as the season progresses, our offensive block will increase toward the back end before postseason. Now we'll spend our whole practice just running, our sets and different schemes and different actions, pin downs, flares, pistol, hammer stuff. We'll go through all of it. That's at the back end of the season, but we're going to get them in shape and we're going to get them playing together, playing with heart, and we'll run and we're run and gun better than anybody else. And we'll go till they crack, and then we'll run our system,
Yeah.
and that's how so it's still in there, but I try to make sure they know what to expect early, that this main teaching you're going to get is this, but we'll run and gun. We'll have fun. And if a team gets to about that 60 range, they're getting close to their cracking point. So that's what we tell them, guys. Look at they think they're onto us, and it's a 2-point game, but it's 62-60. They're at their breaking point, guys. Let's go. So the boys love it when they see a team that's normally like a 40-50 point game at 60, 62. And it's like, okay, let's turn it on, because their hardest day, the team just yells, our warm up, and so they're at their hardest day right now. You're just getting started. Let's go, and it just takes off, and they'll score, 15 points in a minute, 2 minutes, and it just takes off. So, but yeah, no, I'm with you there. I just preach it hard early at the first few meetings.
Makes sense. I got one more question for you, and then we'll do a speed round where I get to know you a little bit better. Social media. And I'm so glad that you chose this question, because not a lot of coaches do, but obviously, like about 15 years ago, I think there were a lot of coaches that didn't care to use social media. Programs didn't have their own platforms, but now you see it at all levels. It's a big part of, golly, just a big part of society. It can be a tool, like you've said throughout, that we can use for good, to let people in, to see a little bit more about our programs, maybe control a little bit of the narrative, and to allow people to see like what our culture is. And we don't want our players to hype themselves, but how can we hype them up, and how can we celebrate them? So in what ways do you use social media to enhance your program?
Excuse me. Yeah, it's all about controlling narrative. I'll say those exact words. We're going to control narrative. We're going to tell our story our way, and for a long time, there's been a lot of negativity, a lot of crazy things through historical trauma that has led down to, individual trauma, and which has led to poor actions. And in some cases, homicide and
Hmm.
triple homicide, double, drugs, meth, all these things and these headlines that come to our community. um, I tell our kids that's not your identity. I don't care what the media has been saying before we got here. We're going to let them know who you are, and the families you come from are strong. You're warriors, you know. So we're going to control narrative, and so we have meetings about social media. What you post matters. So you will not post when you're on this team negativity, something as simple as flipping the bird or a marijuana plant or any of those things. We will not promote anything like that, because to promote is to permit, and to permit is to participate. So we're not going to participate in those actions. We're not going to be victims. We're going to be warriors. So we're going to control narrative, and we're going to boost community. We're going to include community, and then we're going to let it community in what you're doing. So we've had lives. We went practice. We went live on some of our practices and showed them how we do our defense, how we do our offense. And people are like, "What about your people are going to be in on how you do things?" And like, we still got to execute. They still got
Yeah,
to execute.
they
So,
still got to
and
guard
eventually,
it.
we still got to guard it. And it's like, if anything, it might even take our state basketball a little higher. You know, we know what they're doing, and here's what we're going to do. Then it challenges us to go a little hard. So we don't obviously show everything in one practice, but we show the fundamentals of what we're teaching to the parents, to the community. And then other coaches will be like, hey, I noticed you did this. What do you do with that? Or why did you do this, Joe? And it's been fun opening up that door with other coaches and great coaches even. There's a friend of mine now. He's got 430 wins. Coach, I love this drill. What motivated that? Where did this come from? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is one of my heroes here. You know, and he's asking me. He said, I love it, coach. Honestly, we're going to use that. Is it all
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, take it. That's why it's out there. But it was amazing. So I think that's where we put it out there to boost the community, to show that, oh, we're not just, you know, a permissive group here that's just like throw the ball out and get on our phones and go at scrimmage, guys. No, we're teaching here like nonstop. Everything. We're going through manners, how you shake a hand, aim for this web here, firm handshake, look them in the eye, but don't stare. You know what I mean? Let them know that you know who you are, you know where you come from, you're proud of it, and that you're thankful to meet them. You know, little things like that. And then you always
Mm.
introduce up to the female or up to the higher rank, or you know, and little things like that. And this is how we do all of it. You know, we do the teaching, we do the game, and we pray. You know, and so it's like we want you in on it. And then when it comes to community, I think just letting the people know, like these are the kids of our community. They're great because their parents are great. They're great because they're working hard. They're not lazy. They're not beggars. They're not thieves. These guys are hard workers, and they earn everything they've gotten. Nothing has been given to them. Everything's been earned. And that's why we want to, you know, boost that, and just let, we just want to share some of the work we do, and encourage some other team, some other coach, and say, hey man, if we can do it, you can do it. And if you're going to do it, don't be mediocre. Do it great. Can we help? How? You know, and that's why we boost all that stuff, and it opens doors, it opens opportunities, and it gives people a chance. And those who are afraid to ask for help might look at it and say, hey, I needed that. You know, my practice is, and we've had so many coaches just say, our practice is very mediocre, coach. Could you come to the practice? Could you come help with the practice? I'm like, put me on your practice plan. What drills do you want to do? Like, because I do that. I'll bring coaches in and be like, hey, I'll give you 20 minutes or 30 minutes. You're coming across, you know,
Wow.
wherever, and we'll pay your gas or whatever. But I just want you there. Give them different voice and a different teaching and different perspective. Here's the vision of the program, though. Just fall under that vision and share it how you want, you know. And so I think that's how we do social media the way we do, and everything positive, nothing negative whatsoever. If it's negative, go breathe, you know, leave it in the drafts and then delete it. And then, but don't ever post nothing negative. And I think I try to be the perfect example of that, and choose words wisely, include as much people as we can. And we try to, I think, who's your youth development coach? Who's your travel team coach? I want everyone to send me your youth pictures, your tournament pictures, and give me a list of coaches' names that have influenced your life. And they'll send them to me, and then we'll boost it. And we'll try to find all those people and tag them.
Yeah.
Here's why our program is the way it is because of these coaches. It's because of this program. It's because of this training, you know, this training personality that has taken some of our kids, and we boost all of them and say, it's not just me, it's all of these guys. They're the reason our program
Man,
is
that's good.
lifted to a place. So that's why we do the social media. I think a lot of those people that don't ever get their flowers, you know what I mean? We try to make sure they get theirs and acknowledge them because it's due, you know,
Yeah.
it's due them.
what's your handle? Does your program have its own, or does everything run through yours?
I always post my stuff, just Josh Stewart, and then Lodgegrass Boys Basketball is actually under, it's under, there's one that's out there that's a goofy one, but it's out, it's, LG Indians Boys Basketball.
Okay,
It's LG Indians Boys Basketball, and then, just my stuff, Josh Stewart, and then Instagram has, Lodgegrass Indians Boys Basketball, and then just my stuff, Josh Stewart.
nice. No,
Yeah.
I do love. There's some great programs in the Dallas Fort Worth area that, I mean, especially these bigger high schools. They're bringing on people to run their accounts, and so the creativity that they have, and we've been
Yeah.
blessed to have some managers over the years that, especially this last year, so those girls that we had, they're doing it for free, just having fun. They're students here, but they did some fun videos with the guys, and again, like, we want to make the big time where we are. And it doesn't matter what side of school that you're at or whatnot. You can make your environment, your place special. And I think social media, that's a fun way to do that.
It is. It is for sure. And then you get these parents that they share their kids and it's their opportunity to say, "This is my son. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud. And look at what he's doing. Look at what he's a part of." And some will be like, my son only plays 5 minutes a game, but man, he's so thankful. And look at what they're doing. And, they're giving Christmas kids to the kids of the community. And this is them, And so it gives the parents an opportunity to just really kind of show off their kids a little bit and make
Yep.
them proud. And I think that positive energy is around the community. And that's what we want.
And you said something earlier about the banners and how we're not ever going to bring that up, but other people will bring it up. I think as coaches, we can help our players with that, because self-promoting is difficult.
Mhm.
Some people, I feel like, do it maybe the wrong way, or in a way that almost turns off people. And we
Right.
want
Right.
our players to have, like, humility. Humility is one of our kind of core principles, that,
Yeah.
like we want to show up that way every single day. Well, social media sometimes promotes the opposite of that.
Yeah.
But as I always tell our players, like, allow me, send me your information, like you do with your summer stuff, like with all that, those guys, send me, allow us to promote you, allow us to
Mhm.
celebrate you. You can share
Yeah.
and retweet, but, like, I think that's a way for us to navigate that world in a way that doesn't damage our mission, which is
Yeah.
to show off humility with everything we do.
Yeah. Yep. It's big for us, and I think it's just kind of like, there's those moments where it's like you realize, like Paul, like, Okay, you wanna talk about pedigree?" You know what I mean? Here's who I am, here's where I come from, but when it comes down to it, all of that is really nothing.
Mm,
But if it gets me in the door a little bit, well, let's talk about it, because I got that too. But it wasn't just handed to me, man. This is hard. Like, there's sacrifice to this thing. And it doesn't just happen. It's intentional. But if that's what you're shooting after, you may or may not get one. But if you're shooting after something bigger, you could always hit on that. And so we try to present it to them that way. But we definitely want to promote our players, and we want to speak of their hard work. We want to speak of their buy-in, their
yeah.
brotherhood, and we want to let people know, like, look at what coachability has done for these boys. Look at what buy-in has done. Look at what prayer has done for these boys. And it's resulted in two banners in 130 games. We're at 80%. You know, and it's incredible. We've gotten our 100th win this year at the district championship off of a buzzer beater to win. A buzzer beater to go into overtime with 1.7 seconds left, full length of the court. And then a buzzer beater to win.
Where was
Down
the
two.
shot taken from?
Shot was taken. Let's see. I remember the kid was at the free throw line. We had the foul. We were down one. He got it, and our player just fouled right away. And well, I mean, our guy was at the free throw line to go up one. He
Okay.
missed, and then he missed the second one. The kid got it. Our player fouled. 1.7 seconds left, and everyone's like, he
Yeah.
hits his first one. I looked at the official, said, "Hey, when he makes this, we're gonna call a timeout. I need to call a timeout." And he's like, "Well, if he misses, he's gonna have to get possession first before I can call it." And I was like, "He's got to make it. It's our only chance." And he laughed. He said, "Oh, okay." So the kids, I looked at the coaches like, "Please don't tell him to miss."
Yeah.
And they just like standing there watching, and I'm like, "He didn't see nothing yet." Swish. we're going to win this, guys. Get over here, you know, and they're walking back and like, hey, we're going to win. Say it with me. We're going to win. And they're like, we're going to win. I say, no, I want you to say it like you believe it. Say, we're going to win. They're like, we're going to win. It's all right, guys, here's what we're going to do. You know, and so we're going to create a blind spot. When the game starts and there's movement, everyone's going to focus there. So I want you guys, two guys in front of their bench. JJ, I want you to go in between those two guys and run back. And Sam, big fella, I want you to set a screen for JJ. Lance, arrow throwers is part of our tradition. You know, they throw arrows like spears, and it's a game they do ever since they're kids. And Lance is a great arrow thrower. So I was like, Lance, you're an arrow thrower. You're going to make this pass. You make this pass? He's like, I can make this pass, coach. All right, JJ, you're going to run through that screen, come right back out of it. Once you go, the crowd, the official, everybody's going to focus on JJ. Set that screen. If it's like, look for JJ. I was like, Toby, once JJ runs through you guys, I want you to run top of the perimeter. Ano, I want you to run toward the ball, bring the defense towards you a little bit. Don't worry about Ano. He's just a decoy. Toby, I want you to run out to the open space. No one's going to see you. And he was like, but I don't want you to catch the ball on this side of the court. Lance, make sure he catches it on that side. Advance it forward. JJ, if he's open, just throw it to him. And then Lance, I said, but if you cock back, that defense is going to move. And then the buzzer's going, coach is like, hey, that's your second whistle. Get out there, you know. Let's go, guys. And then he just like, we're down 3, 1.7 seconds left. Lance goes like this. Boom, defense goes. Toby's all by himself. He throws it. And Toby says, trajectory says it's going to land inside the perimeter, so I had to step back. He caught it, steps back, and just throws up one of those, you know.
Quick one, yeah.
Yeah, because those two guys came at him, you know, from, you know, across the court, and he threw it, swish, right at the buzzer. And then there was a battle there. We were down 2 and 4.8 seconds left, and we called the timeout. I said, at 5 seconds, I would call timeout because if nothing's moving, nothing's going. I got to draw some up here. Official calls it, 4.8. Then we just drove just the usual, what most coaches do, the elevator, you know, the decoy. Toby hit this big shot. Chiefy, I want you to go set the screen for him. You run to the corner, Toby. You just hit these big shots. They got to cover you. He's a sophomore, all-state player, one of our best players, one of the best in the state. And he just ran to the corner, and he's like yelling, ball, ball, ball. Defense moves. There's the elevator, but the kid just drops, you know, and Chiefy comes around the top screen and catches the pass. Shot fake. Shot, buzzer, and they win the district championship in that fashion. One of the greatest games ever. It was just, and that was our 100th win. So and it went down that way, and it was unreal. And so after the season, you know, we went divisional championship. We took second against a very tough Red Lodge team, big team, and truly a David and Goliath thing. But the boys knew they're, you know, we're not the underdogs here, man. Their hearts,
That's right.
you know.
There it is.
They went to state and took third and finished 103 and 27, I think, in 5 years. So that's all God. And 12 first place trophies.
And the credit to the boys.
To God be the glory, to the boys be the credit. Yes.
Love that.
Yep.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.